Hello and welcome. My name is Jack Jennings, and today I'm going to tell the story of how I got the gig that kick-started my career as an Indian classical guitarist. So what I do is I play Indian classical music on the guitar, and it's based on a very traditional form of sitar playing and taking all those different ideas and musical techniques, musical ideas, and then putting them directly on the guitar. And this is something that I've really been working on for about 16 years. I've been playing guitar for 25 years in total, but the last 16 years I've been playing Indian classical music, and that's been a big part of my focus. But since 2017, it's been pretty much the single thing that I've been focusing on. I really haven't thought about other styles of music that much for the last sort of 5 years. I've really only been focusing on that. And the reason that I really narrowed down my focus is because basically I got an opportunity to really put this to the test. So the way that this happened, the way I got this gig, this opportunity to sort of really see, right, can I actually do this? Can I actually, really try and make this thing work with the guitar and Indian classical music? So the way that this happened is that I was following one or two different Indian classical musicians. One of them was Guitarist, a tabla player, and I had seen some of his videos on YouTube, and I'd met him a few years previously at a concert in Bristol, and he seemed like a really great guy, and I couldn't believe how brilliant he sounded. He sounded like just a fantastic tabla player. And I'd also been following Manish Pingle, who's an Indian slide guitarist, and around sort of 2013, he had a video that seemed to go a bit viral on YouTube of him playing Rag Jog. And you couldn't see his face though, you could only see just the slide guitar. It was just filmed on like an old-fashioned, camera phone. And it was really these two guys that I thought, wow, these are really interesting players. I had a feeling that these two were very, worth keeping an eye on. And then one day, it was 2016, I think it was in the autumn or winter time, I just was looking through the program of, there's a venue just up the road where they have different musicians, different classical music, different folk musicians, all kinds of things, jazz musicians. And they were playing up the road. I thought, wow, this is amazing. Guitarist and Manish Pingle, they're both just playing up the road, and they're actually playing with Michael Messer. They had this blues trio mixing blues and Indian classical music. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. These are, two musicians that I've been really keen to see more of, and they're just up the road. So I went up there, and I thought to myself, I've got to do something about this. This is a really special opportunity. So what I did is that I rather boldly went up there, bought a ticket for the gig, and I took my guitar with me. And I guess I was just pretty desperate, really, just to try to connect with musicians, particularly with Indian classical musicians, and particularly these two who I really respected and been looking out for them. So I just went up there with my guitar, and I didn't really know what I was going to do. I thought, well, maybe I'll talk to them afterwards, and I'll see if I can play for them. It sounds pretty, I don't know, egotistical or delusional, or just kind of a bit desperate or something, but I just needed to try and grab the opportunity. And I spoke to them afterwards, and I had my guitar, but it's just an unplugged guitar, an unplugged electric guitar, so quiet on its own, it's literally like that loud. But I said, can I play you my guitar? I play Indian classical music on the guitar. And they were like, yeah, sure, get it out. Manish is a really friendly guy. So I literally got my guitar out. We were just standing around in the venue, and I didn't have a guitar strap or anything. I just knelt down on the floor with the guitar on my knee, and I just started playing. but what I was doing is that I was actually playing traditional compositions on the guitar, and I was playing these different rags, and I was improvising, and I'd been practicing this stuff a lot. And Manish and Gudain, they were sort of standing around listening, and they were like, "Wow, that's really great." And then Manish, he recognized the rag. I think I played rag Madhavanti, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Madhavanti," and then he kind of started like singing along with what I was doing. And then I played a bit of rag Hamsadwani and a bit of rag Jog. And there were a few moments where they seemed really impressed. They were like, "Wow, we didn't expect that." And it kind of went on. I don't know how long I was playing for, but just kneeling down on the floor, just playing super quiet like that. But it kind of went on for about, I don't know, 15 minutes or something like that. I was just kind of playing and talking, and it just felt like, wow, this is really great. And I didn't know what was going to happen, but it was just, you need to connect with people. You need to kind of put yourself out there and give yourself a chance. And sometimes it's completely nerve-wracking, and you think, oh my god, they're going to think I'm a bit crazy. I'm just sort of showing up here like desperate to play. But I did what I had to do, and then afterwards, we exchanged numbers, and Manish said, hey, if you come to India sometime, you should get in touch with me. But then what happened in March of 2017, which is about sort of 3-4 months later actually, I went to see John McLaughlin at Ronnie Scott's, and we were very lucky because a friend of mine was really close with the manager at the time, and he got us tickets to come in because it was completely sold out. Ronnie Scott's, John McLaughlin played there 2 nights, and it was completely sold out, and the tickets were really expensive even if you could buy a ticket. But he got us in, and then afterwards I actually got a chance to meet John McLaughlin, and I made another video when I actually talked all about this. But I was so blown away just by like the energy coming off John McLaughlin. Meeting him, he was very, very intense. So basically this experience with John, it really made me realize the kind of attitude that he had, and the forwardness that he had, the intensity he had. He would have just, he just made stuff happen. You had to have a real direct intensity about you to achieve things like what any, successful person achieves in whatever field. So I thought, well, I just need to do this. If I want to develop myself, and I want to sort of do even like 10% of what John's done, or 1% of what John's done, I need to just really be very forward about this and take opportunities. So I basically thought, well, I should get in touch with Manish. I should really try. I shouldn't be doubting myself. I shouldn't be thinking, oh well, he's probably not going to want to work with me. Why would he go out of his way? He's probably got loads of things he can do. Why would he want to work with me? Don't think of it like that. You have to at least just, in good faith, try. So I sent him an email, and I sent Gudain an email, and I sent an email to a few other musicians as well, that people I'd kind of rubbed shoulders with at different times in kind of recent past. And I was amazed that Manish got back to me, and he immediately said, oh great, yeah, Jack, brilliant to hear from you. Yeah, let's do something. Let's work together. Maybe we can do some recording. Maybe we can do some concerts. And he said, hey, I've got a big European tour coming up. Maybe we can meet up. I'm going to be in the UK, and he was going to be in Portugal and in France and Spain and Italy, all over the place. And I thought, wow, this is great. Like, he's actually really happy to hear from me. He remembers me. He remembers really well who I am, and he actually really wants to play. And I heard back from Gudain as well, and yeah, he was, he's in London, so he's a bit closer. And it just seemed like there was real potential that something could actually happen here. So I would talk to my friends, and I would say, God, I don't believe it. I got in touch with these Indian classical musicians that I met a few months ago, and actually it sounds like they want to do something with me. And my best friend said to me, because I was saying to him, God, I'm really surprised that they actually want to work with me. I haven't got any real experience in this field. I haven't really got a big, name or anything like that. And he said, yeah, but dude, you're a really good guitar player, and you really know about this music. Of course, they want to work with you. And when you've got good friends like that will just give you that encouragement. And I spoke to my first sitar player about it, and I said the same thing. I said, wow, I'm amazed they want to work with me. And he said, you're good enough to work with anyone, just go for it, and it's really great, because you do doubt yourself, and you need people around you who can not, you don't want people to give you unrealistic expectations, but sometimes to hear people just say, hey, like, they're giving you an opportunity, it's because they can see that you're good, they can see that you're ready to do this. So if you're getting an opportunity, you need to have confidence that you do deserve at least a shot. You actually deserve that opportunity because you've made it happen for yourself, actually. So yeah, this all started to kind of come together, and it actually turned out that I was traveling to Portugal to see my wife's family who live there, and it just coincided with when Manish was in Portugal as well. So we actually met up again in Porto, and we went out for a drink there, and we talked about a lot of things, and we kind of made this plan of right, well, let's do a concert, let's get Guitarist involved on tabla. Maybe you can play a recital, I'll play a recital, and then we'll do something together. So we didn't really have to worry about rehearsing too much, we just needed one piece that we could do together. And then it was sort of down to me to try to arrange a concert just to kind of get things off the ground. So then, just off the strength of having these great musicians involved, I could contact a promoter or a venue and say, we don't have any videos or recordings of us all playing together, but this is what we want to do. We've got these 3 musicians. This is something very new, something we're exploring, something here. Would you like us, to come and play? And it's very difficult to get gigs like that when you're just kind of knocking at the door saying, hello, like, can I have a gig? But you got to start somewhere. And I was very lucky to come across a small music school that wanted to put on a concert and had a bit of money to invest, and they were interested in what we were doing. So I got the first concert booked, and then Manish was very happy about that. It was tying in with some other dates that he had in the UK, so that was good, because for me it was a big opportunity. I knew that if I could get this together and we could get an audience and get a chance to do the first concert and give Manish and Guitarist, give them a reason to be there and play, then I could it could be the start of something, and we could film it as well. We could record, get an example of what we were doing that then we could use to get future better gigs. So there was a lot riding on this, and I was practicing a lot, and I made that decision to just focus on Indian classical music and to not to worry about other styles of guitar playing, and just really focus just on Indian classical music purely. So I knew that there was a lot riding on this, and it really felt that it was an opportunity for me to get involved with other musicians and try to really break things, try to break into a new stage of my career. And my sitar teacher, I remember he said to me, this is a really good opportunity, and if you mess this up, you might not. He actually said you won't get another opportunity like this, which was maybe a bit dark. To say that you might not get another opportunity, I think that would have been fair to say. But but he said quite bluntly, yeah, you won't get another opportunity like this. This is a really good opportunity. So I knew that, and I remember I was talking to my wife about it at the time, and I was saying, because she was like, wow, you're practicing all the time, and if you don't practice, you get stressed. You're really tense about this, and there's a lot, she kind of noticed a bit of a change in me building up to it. And I said to her, look, as long as I get my practice done, I feel happy, I feel great. But if I'm not practicing, then I'm going to start to get frustrated. I'm going to start to get angry because I need to do this. I need to make this work. And this isn't just a case of, well, just show up and get through it and it will be fine. And as long as you kind of get through it, then that's it. That's not what this is about. It's very possible that I could mess this up. If I get there and I can't keep up musically, if it doesn't look like I'm really that good, why would they want to play with me again? I had to make sure that I played well enough for them to feel like, yeah, this was good, this was a success, let's do it again. I needed to make sure that it was basically a success. And there's that saying that you need luck to get a foot in the door, but then you need the talent to stay in the room. So I knew that I'd had a bit of luck, to get an opportunity, but I needed to stay in the room. I needed to kind of keep that. I needed to keep everything feeling healthy, So then it came to the concert. It came around to the concert, and I felt good. I felt like I had a good practice. Things felt like they were going well. I felt like my technique was really improving, and I was doing things like practicing with the metronome a lot, trying to get up to make sure I could play at really high speeds and I could maintain that speed, because when you're playing with a real tabla player, they can start to go really fast, and you need to be able to keep up. It's not so much about whether you want to play fast as that you actually need to be able to play fast, because otherwise you can't keep up. As the recital develops and things get faster and faster and faster, you just need to be able to play at that speed just to kind of stay with the music. So in the end, we did the concert, and on the day, it went well. I definitely didn't play as well as I would have liked to be honest. The way I describe it is that most of the time throughout the whole concert, I sounded good enough. A few moments I didn't sound quite right. There's definitely a few moments where I slipped up a bit, but there were also a couple of moments in there where I thought I played really well. So there were some definite, high points, but most of it was kind of okay. But I didn't feel that I was quite in touch with the instrument. It's like something wasn't quite clicking. But I played well enough, and there were definitely some exciting moments in there. So I think the guys knew that, it was worth pursuing this. There were some really good moments. There was definitely some more bits to come from that, and we got a few bits of video footage there where there was some great playing going on. I mean, I think Manish played amazingly that concert. I was really blown away by his playing, and Guitarist played fantastically. He always plays so well. And I felt I could really follow the whole progression. I felt that I could navigate through the whole recital and really follow what Manish was doing. Every time that he played something and he developed a new part of the recital, I felt I had something in my repertoire that I could use to respond and to musically follow what he was doing. So that was the thing, I'd done so much preparation that even though I wasn't playing like the best, I think my accuracy and my kind of feel and sound on the guitar just wasn't quite 100%. But I'd done so much work, so much practice, that I still always knew what kind of thing I should be playing, where I should be. I didn't get lost at any point. I could sense where he was and what he was doing. So everything really went fine. And then leading on from there, we had some nice footage of the band, and there was a sense of positivity in that, yeah, let's do this again. And then I really knew what to do after that. I really knew what to improve. I changed my sound, I changed the tuning on my guitar as well, putting the Shakir strings on here, these extra high strings. And I started having lessons with Roopa Panesar. Guitarist put me in touch with Roopa Panesar, who's an amazing sitar player. So she started really coaching me. And then everything really fell into place. At that point, I really knew, okay, this is what I need to improve on. This is what I know now fully what I really need to do, because I've been in the environment. I've played on stage with these guys. I know how I can get better. And then the next year, 2019, we had loads of different concerts that we played. I think we played about five or six different concerts, which for me felt like a lot, going from like doing 1 or 2 concerts to suddenly doing like, 5 in 1 year. Usually, a few of them quite close together, and then a bit of a gap, and then another few close together. So by that time, I was well away. Then there was a real sense of confidence, and the guys were really happy with how it was sounding. And then that was it, really. From then, I felt like I was off. I had a great teacher, Roopa, and she put me in touch with Shakir as well. And I had really great footage of the different concerts that we did. A few of them were recorded really, really well. So everything felt different at that point. I felt like musicians around me, the people that I knew and the people that I would start to connect with online, suddenly it was like I was in a different category. People were just approaching me and with a sense of like, oh, you're really doing this. We can see that you're playing with these guys, you're on stage, you're sounding good, you can talk the talk and walk the walk. It just felt as if everything was a sense of validation, I suppose, because when you're playing at home and you're working on these different things, you're working on these things, but you don't really know if you can actually do it. You don't really know if you've actually fully got the ability to really keep up and really play Indian classical music at that high level. So yeah, that's it really. That's the story of how my career really took shape, and from there, I felt that I was in a better position to really teach what I was doing and develop the whole system, because through putting it into practice, I really felt confident about it. Became a complete system of how to play Indian classical music on the guitar, and that really led me to being able to actually make guitar courses and really reference things that I had learned in that real concert situation, and how you really put all of that into practice on the guitar. So that's it, and that's really brought me to where I am today. And next year I've got some really amazing collaborations coming up. I've actually got 2 new bands that I've started. Both bands are based on Indian classical music, but taking it in different directions, fusing it with different styles. And these are all building on connections that have come from, just the initial collaboration with Manish and Guitarist. It's all things that are kind of growing out of that. So that was pretty much the seed of everything, was, going to that concert and just playing my guitar unplugged, knelt down on the floor, playing very, very quietly. That was the spark, and everything's really come directly from that. So yeah, just wanted to share that story. I hope that that's interesting, and perhaps it's inspiring to people. I really think that the best thing I can say is that you need to have the ability to do what you want to do, and then that will lead to the ability to actually collaborate with people, and then through that collaboration, then there'll be a sense of recognition will come through that. If you're working with other people and you eventually can start to work with people who are really good in that field, then it kind of raises you up to a similar sort of level. So you'll be respected, you'll be known as a musician who's actually within that circle, part of that musical community, part of that professional level. So that's the way I look at it. You have to have the ability, then that allows you to collaborate with people, because people, musicians, if they can see that you're good and that you can play, then they're going to want to give it a try. If you get an opportunity, they're going to see that, hey, this guy looks good, but you need to have the ability for people to take you seriously enough to actually give you a chance to play. And then when you can play with these people and you can collaborate, then you get into a new circle, and then then you'll get that recognition, and then you'll start to get somewhere. So I really think that that's the pathway and also part of that is knowing who you need to study with. You need to develop yourself, but you need to have a sense of who you need to study with and who you need to try to get in touch with. Those are the things that I'd really recommend to anyone in any field that you're really trying to develop your career musically. So thanks for watching, and see you again next time.